All right, and we are back for another installment of the zZounds Live Gear Expo. This time with EarthQuaker devices, and more specifically, Mr. Cory Juba from EarthQuaker. What's up, brother?
What's up? Nice
Yeah,
for having us.
yeah, dude. Congrats again on the release day of the Astral Destiny.
Yep.
Um,
Well timed.
yeah, I know, right? I'm completely blown away, as we've already talked about, and can't wait to learn more. As I'm sure a lot of people are kind of feeling that way too. So, I mean, this thing is crazy. So let's kind of take a look at it. It's got 8 reverb modes. So
Yeah.
we're looking at an abyss, a shimmer, a sub shimmer, astral, ascend, descend, and cosmos. I love the names too, by the way. Just makes me want to blast off into space or something, go on some cosmic journey. So
Yeah, that's a good place to start. That's the right idea for sure.
for sure. So so just kind of like about this pedal a little bit. I mean, how long have you guys kind of been working on this thing?
Actually, quite a bit. Like this thing has gone through many incarnations, but at this point, it's probably been in the works for about 2 years.
Yeah,
In some form or another. It's actually quite different than the one that was prototyped originally. So this is I love what it came out to be, but it is quite different than the original intention, I suppose.
yeah, no, definitely. And the cool thing with it too is, I mean, it's a obviously it's a reverb, and like we were discussing before we went live here too, is a lot of people are using this with not only guitar but synths, and you said there was a harp review with it.
Yes, I
Which
think
is
her name is
insane.
Emily. She just did an amazing harp review today, and it blew my mind.
I think that's so cool. Do you guys like? I guess like during the design process and stuff like that, are you testing these on different instruments and really kind of going for that, or is it more like, okay, like, we're mainly guitar players and we're going to make a guitar pedal, and then it can be translated to other instruments, or is it
No,
like a
I
conscious thought?
hear you. It's definitely a conscious thought. It's very much the former. Like we work really hard to make sure they handle a full range input of 20 hertz to 20K, so
Uh huh.
you can drive in your drum set and synthesizers and bass and not lose like kick drum and low end and stuff. So that's hugely important.
Yeah.
And definitely something that like we definitely do a lot of in the prototyping and testing phase. I'm like running it through, everything, trying to break it.
I
And
love it.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we can see already in your studio you've got keyboards, synths, and obviously a whole lot of EarthQuaker stuff. So
yeah, a lot of stuff makes noise in this room for sure.
dude, yeah. After COVID, I'm coming to visit you guys again, and we're gonna jam sesh.
Stay with me. We'll have our whenever EarthQuaker Day happens again. You must come.
I know. I've never been to an EarthQuaker Day, so I need to get out there for it. Which is, it's surprising I haven't been to one, because I'm from Ohio, and I've been a big fan of EarthQuaker for a long time, and just haven't had the opportunity. But I am glad I got to crash your Halloween party
Right.
a couple years
Yeah.
ago. This was
Those are equally crazy in a different way, but still.
yeah. Well, I just thought it was so nice, because I was like, I'm gonna go to Ohio and visit some friends, and I'll hit up EarthQuaker and see if they want to hang out for a little bit. And you guys were open arms, like, come on by. And then I get there, and you guys are like, oh yeah, it's our Halloween party. We have food and beer and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh man, I feel so bad now. And you're like, no, like, party with us. So no, I mean, you guys are great, and I miss you guys. And
Likewise.
sad I can't see you in California, but we'll just.
Oh yeah, so it's NAMM time right now.
Yeah, I know.
Bizarre.
And like it's one of those things too, where I'm like, last year was only my first one, so last year after it was over, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the next one, because I'm gonna do this and this and this differently. And I'm like, oh man. But hopefully next year, so, or maybe even Summer NAMM, who knows? Or did they cancel that? I'm not too sure if they have.
I would probably say that's unlikely.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, who knows? I think it's unlikely, but
yeah, you're probably right on that. But yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at this pedal. I mean,
sure.
Where do we even start?
Oh man. Well, I think we should start tame and then get super weird.
I'm super cool with that.
I think a cool thing to note about it is just 8 reverb modes. So we'll start at 8 different reverb programs, which is pretty cool. And it has a lot of firsts for us. Like this is the one with like a soundable expression control, and the stretch features its own thing. So why don't we start with how about we start with my dry tone?
Yeah, let's hear
build from there. Okay. Okay.
it.
Right, so 1 sec. That was a shout out to Andy.
And I do apologize. My dog is running around in the background, so.
Oh, what kind of creature is that?
She's a little pit bull named Luna. So she's
Is she sweet?
she's usually sleeping around this time, but she decided to be up. She wants to hear the Astral Destiny, dude.
Is she? Okay, Luna, that's for you. That's what's called the Heart of Luna. I mean, that's dry, boring, like straight up telly. So the only thing will be in the chain is the Astral Destiny. I guess before we get too simple, I have it on like one of my personal favorite settings. So I'll show you what this sounds like to get a vibe of the pedal, and then we'll tear down and then build back up.
Cool, I'm down.
Cool sound. Pretty cool for a reverb.
I love that. So beautiful. I'm like shedding a tear, like some dramatic, part of a movie or something. I love it, and I love that stretch feature too.
Oh yeah, so we'll get to the stretch feature in a second, but that is a really good point actually. I found myself losing a lot of time in it just because it sounds like cinematic, in a way, and like basically like an old sci-fi movie on VHS tape. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I love.
Really fun to. I found like myself playing different things I would normally play because the pedal gives you so much cool feedback. So it's like cool give and take, and which I really love. Like a lot of my favorite pedals do that sort of thing. So Jamie's really good at making stuff that does that.
Yep.
So let's start with the Abyss mode. This is the most simple and most tame the pedal will be. And what it is it's the core sound of the pedal. There's no extra harmonies added. So what makes this pedal pretty unique is the way the harmonies are done. So typically, people will like harmonize themselves and stick the reverb at the end of the chain. And the reverb is only just serving as the space for the sound. It's not actually like doing any pitch shifting. This way, the reverb is doing all of the transposition. So like you have like octaves generated and like regenerated even, and then like fifths. So it's pretty cool to have your input signal be quite simple, but like what comes out of it is just this, crazy choir. So I will say that we'll start with the Abyss for now and then build on top of that. So the Abyss is just this massive, lush, plate-ish style verb. And there's a modulation section in the pedal, but just to hear what it sounds like by itself, I'll leave it off.
Cool.
And I'm just going to keep the mix cranked so it's easy to hear what's going on. Pretty tame. Yeah, it's a beautiful, very lush sounding. I mean, everyone uses that word with the reverb, but I mean it this time.
Lush with meaning.
Yeah. So it only gets weirder from here. So we go to Shimmer mode.
I wouldn't expect anything less with EarthQuaker. I was just gonna say.
I
was like, I love the tame. It's like you can get an EarthQuaker pedal and have tame tones and tame sounds from it and everything like that, but they're fun when they get weird. So
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I think, like, yeah, that's a common theme with our stuff. Jamie loves to make stuff that has, like, I would say, like, safe musical territory somewhere around the middle, and then you can have like not enough at all, then way too much in some direction. So there's like always a huge gambit with the flexibility, which I love.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's see. Let me talk about the stretch feature real quick, because I'm gonna start using that as a bring in more octaves and harmonies. So stretch feature is awesome. If you've had the afterneath or the transmitter, it's similar to like the warp control, the drag, where the entire system is slowed down, and what it does is it yields a lot of different stuff sonically. So like for example, it'll like double the length of the reverb time, and it will lead like a temporary pitch change, but also like the tone control gets a bit darker and the modulation slows down and gets grittier. So as I start bringing in some harmonies, and I'll bounce back and forth between the two stretch states, listen to how much the character changes. I would say this pedal is not in the hi-fi realm, but if you want a more hi-fi, like shimmery, bright sound, leave the stretch off. And when you engage the stretch, everything is slowed down and grittier, and it sounds like a vinyl-y VHS tape that you're like manipulating a lot. It's really cool. Like, it's a very cinematic sound when the stretch is engaged. And another thing with noting is you can bounce back and forth between the two states, like with hard quantized jumps, by tapping the switch, just like that, and it'll be like jumping hard jumps in between them. Or you can hold it down and it'll glide between those two states, and you can choose and program how quickly or how slowly you want the glide to be.
Awesome.
So what mode would you like to hear?
Let's see what the sub or sub shimmer, up to you.
Sub shimmer is great.
Sub shimmer.
Yeah. So just everyone's heard of the shimmer verb. Obviously that's an octave up on the wet signal. Then you have the sub mode, which is the inverse of that. So if you an octave down, it's sub shimmer is both at the same time. So I'll leave modulation off for now, and then I'll bring it in a second. So I have the length at about 2 o'clock, and the decay length is quite long. Like, I would say when the stretch is off, maybe about 10-ish seconds, and then when it's on, it's like over a 20-second decay. So it's a pretty big sounding space. And the tone control, by the way, is right about noon. It's a flat frequency response, so everything is going through. And then as you go clockwise, you'll start accentuating the top end and like bringing out upper harmonics. And as you go counterclockwise, you're going to be like kind of dampening the harmonics a bit, which I think is personally really useful when you're adding in like the Astral mode or the sub shimmer mode, where you have a lot of these like very high bright things. And if your guitar's bright or your amp's bright, you can tailor it back.
There you go.
Which I like kind of at like 9 o'clock, and then I bring in the depth, and all of a sudden I'm like on a old VHS tape.
Yeah.
All right, so here's sub shimmer without any modulation. And then I'll listen when I play with the stretch feature here.
Cool.
I think it was on sub. Now I'm on sub shimmer. Nice. All right, here we go. Now I'm really trying.
Love it. I love the big smile that the stretch feature just puts on your face like immediately.
That's very consistent. It always happens. It's so fun. It's great because like you can dial it in like quite slow. Like, so it's so easy to change the length, by the way. So all you do is simply hold down the stretch feature and then or the button rather, and then twist the length control where you want it.
Nice.
Right now it's at about like 1 o'clock, pretty much exactly where the length is set now. But you can do like a 30-second crawl down if you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So I guess we can take it a step further and bring in some modulation.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right,
Why not,
so
right?
now this is where it gets cool. This is where I think the pedal really comes alive, is when you start adding this like warble to it.
Mm-hmm.
And in particular, this is like it's a chorus technically, or like basically I feel like it's kind of vibrato because I can feel it really pulling up, and it sounds awesome. So check this out. Another thing to listen for here is when I'm playing with the stretch feature. When the stretch is off, it'll be a lot faster modulation, and when you engage it, all of a sudden it gets really vibey and slow. Super pretty. I love that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I feel like I could play riffs like that like all day with that thing, and just really make my neighbors happy. So actually, they would probably love that more so than like my spitty data corruptor fuzz system that I showed you yesterday. So
the thing that's worthwhile noting here is like how well it responds to swells. So when you have something that's like very gentle and kind of floating like this, you don't have a lot of like hard transients. It's really cool vibe. So check this one out. I mean, it basically sounds like an old cassette tape.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Dude. I love it. The old cassette tape sound is like, it's something that like for some reason your ears shouldn't like it, but they do, or maybe some people don't like it, but it's one of those sounds I'm like, I love it. Like I love the lo-fi, like the warble, and like just the not perfectness.
So that's so funny. Yeah, if you would have asked me that like 5 years ago, I would have been like, "What are you talking about? It's out of tune."
Yeah, exactly.
I do definitely like that, especially with like synths and pads and stuff. So if you check out our demo, or you go like the sound samples on the website, actually I can show you some here in a little bit. But they do a really good job of kind of processing the synthesizers in like really musical ways to kind of detune and stuff like that. Now, yeah, I can't get enough of that sound.
Super cool. And you guys have presets in there, but you can change them once you have the pedal. Is there like what went into like creating the presets? Like did like a different employee of EarthQuaker get to kind of pick out a sound that they really like, and then that's what's preset in there?
No, Jamie just knocked him out. So the one thing that's worth noting though is I think what he did a good job of doing. So like basically, there's 8 reverb modes and 8 presets slot, and for the factory presets, Jamie put each mode, each reverb mode is an example in each preset slot. But you can use any reverb mode for any preset. But awesome, I think you get a sample of the entire pedal if you just flip through the presets, which I think is a really good.
Yeah, it just gives you like a foundation to kind of start with, and
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So like there's myself included. When you get a pedal for the first time, it's like can be overwhelming sometimes, and you're like, I don't know where to start. Like how do I find the sound that's I'm hearing in my head or stuff like that. So having those presets as like a foundation is, I think, such a cool idea. And then you don't have to be stuck with them. If you want to change it and put any kind of mode on there, you can. So way to go, guys.
I mean, I think it's really valuable just in a pedal that is this versatile and you can pull so many sounds out of it, especially like really wildly different ones. So for example, like what's cool about this thing, one of my favorite things about it is when you see this, it might be a little bit hard to see. That's a green, and when the pedal is green. It could be red if depending on your bypass state, but basically green means tails will come through, and that's the way it ships. I always leave it in tails because who wants to turn tails off?
Yeah,
So
not me.
yeah, not me. So, this is live mode. So basically, like where the controls are set visually is what you're hearing. Cool. So go to preset mode. All you have to do is hold down the activate switch for a second, and then it will blink. Now this is yellow. If you can see that, it might be a little bit difficult. Mm-hmm. And now that means you're in preset mode. So what is going on here is that the controls no longer visually indicate what you're hearing. They're all like digitally recalled.
Okay.
So, what I like doing though is getting like a sound. Here, I'll do it for you. I'll do it live.
There we go.
So now this is a pretty cool wobbly thing with harmonics, right, or harmonies. Now, so basically, like say this is a saved preset. You're in the verse of the song. You want some spacey with all these things going on. If you just go ahead and hold this now it goes back to where the panel controls are set, and now I have no harmonies in the reverb. I'm in abyss mode. So it's a cool way to like completely change the entire layout of the pedal, and like your expression assignments can also change, and your stretch programming length. All this can be changed without having to bend over and touch a single knob, which I think is actually pretty sweet.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's cool for a performance tool. I think like that's a big thing. Like anything that you can do to mitigate you having to tap dance or bend over or menu dive is a useful thing. So being able to like it's basically like having a totally separate pedal at the push of a button, which is really fun. Yeah.
No, there's definitely when I was gigging, I was bringing out my absurd 16.
When did that used to happen?
I don't know, back in like the 20 teens, is that what they call it? But no, it's like I have all these pedals, and then I'm like, oh man, I got to get down and change something for this next song. So I was constantly looking for pedals that I could save presets on, or I didn't have to, mess with it mid set. It's like I wanted to set it and just like if I wanted to change something, I could do with my feet or whatever on the fly. But I think that's, an awesome thing to kind of go into when designing the pedal, because that's functionality at its best,
Totally. I think, we'll probably see a lot more of that stuff coming from us for sure.
Yeah.
I love how easy it is to change expression assignments. I think that's something worth noting. Like I've seen things in the past where you have to like take the back plate off and flip toggles and stuff, and that's just no one wants to get a screwdriver out to change the setting. Or even take it off your board. So what I love, you can just simply, if the expression pedal is plugged in and the toe is down, simply just twist the panel control that you want to map it to, and then put your heel down or toe up, and then that's it. So basically, like it comes factory shipped with it mapped to depth. But say you wanted to map it to length or tone, you simply put the toe down, twist one of those knobs, and put your toe up, and then that's it. So awesome. That's super fun. That's been like, in fact, like running CV into that is one of my favorite things I've done with the pedal, because you can do things with CV that you can't physically do with the control, like hard jumps between voltages, and it's like you can basically, if you mapped it to the tone, you can get like a sample and hold sound out of it. And
nice.
You can get like different slews and stuff. So yeah, the pedal comes alive when you start adding different voltages.
Yeah, I can imagine like just going through this thing for like a week, like treat it like a full-time job, 8 hours a day, and you still don't get through the whole thing.
I think that's a good thing. Yeah.
I love it. There's just a lot of versatility, I think, with it, and a lot of fun. Pedals are fun. That's why I get them.
Right.
That's why I buy them. So it's like being able to. It's like buying a video game with like a longer story or something like that. I love it.
You make this like a write your own and choose your own adventure kind of thing.
Yeah, there you go. Now you just need the EarthQuaker video game, whatever that would be.
Oh, that would probably be Carl's territory. Yeah, he's talked to me about earlier about like coding video games. So yeah, maybe
there you go.
An EarthQuaker game.
Perfect. Why not?
Let me tackle another mode here. Let's go to Astral mode. So Astral is like a super sub shimmer. Mm-hmm. So it's the same lower and upper octaves that you're getting in sub shimmer, except it's re-feeding back into the pedal. Mm-hmm. And this sort of creates this like cascading blooming octave sequence. So check this out.
Awesome. love it again.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
I don't
Jamie
think
did
you can
not
play
run the park
anything.
on this one.
What if I was like, yeah, I don't like that one?
You know what? Yeah, this thing sucks. Let me check out a couple other modes. I think Cosmos is really cool. It's similar to Astral, and then it has like this big cascading bloom sound. Instead of octaves, you're going to get a regenerating fifth. So it's kind of interesting to play to because usually like your reverb is not tuned to a fifth of what you play. So, but it is fun to like kind of write stuff knowing that it'll be transposed to that perfect fifth. So yeah, check this out. And I'll like play with the stretch feature a little bit here.
Cool.
Pretty fun. So wild.
Yeah.
It's cool to get lost in that one. I love that one a lot.
Oh man, I just every time you play a riff with like a new setting, I'm like, I can't wait to get my hands on this thing.
Good. That's the idea.
Yeah.
It is. I will say though, like I'm very particular about reverbs and pedals in particular, but this one is really cool. I've lost so many hours in this. I think I'm just so happy with the way it came out. It's such an instant vibe machine. It's so much cool character out of it. I really like the thing, like the grittiness of the verb is really nailed. So Jamie nailed that one. So
yeah, I love it. I mean, there's a lot of like I'm not a pedal designer or anything like that. I love pedals, but you know, you're thinking like, how can reverbs get better? And then you guys somehow do it. I don't know how, but but you did, and it's awesome. And I'm glad we all get to listen to it and you know now use it. So
we get now people can play them. Yeah. They're available today. Today's launch day, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned in the beginning, but now you can go to your local dealer and grab them.
Yep.
I'm stoked about it.
So let's see, what other modes have we not tackled yet since
well, Shimmer, everyone knows what Shimmer sounds like, so we can we can show sub. That's kind of cool. I think that one kind of really comes to life on synthesizers, but I'll show it on guitar real quick. Mm-hmm. So I turn the modulation off in the sub mode. So this is just an octave down. So basically like the opposite of a shimmer. So this stuff really kind of is accentuated when you play above the 12th fret.
Cool. Dude, I could see that like in a bridge part, like leading up to some huge like kind of Caspian-esque.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And those guys are awesome. I think that's a really good way to put it. Like it just sounds like, I mean, cinematic, but in the best way, like in the truest sense. It really does sound. It really pulls a lot of interesting stuff out of your playing, and I can't wait to hear the music people make with this stuff.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I need to check out, like we said earlier, the harp demo, and I'm excited just to, you know, a lot of times I'll put like vocals through it. Like, have you tried vocals through this thing?
I'm not the best singer, so I probably wouldn't be the best person. But totally, like you could definitely run vocals through it. I actually, you know what, but like we were a little bit pressed for time before doing this, but I was like, can I reroute my mic into like the pedal? And I would have just
Right.
Destiny.
I remember I put a mic through a tremolo pedal, and I literally just listened to my voice just tremolo for like 2 hours. It was amazing.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, totally. Oh man, yeah. I mean, it would be crazy because you have you know, a sub octave and a shimmer, so you would just sound like you're right out of the 80s.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but, yeah. I personally love running it through synthesizers. Actually, I'll play a quick synth example for you before we cap it here. But this is awesome. This is like one of the ones off the site and one of my favorites. So actually, I'll show two. I'll show one in the sub shimmer mode, and this is just like a cascading arpeggio sequence. And the synth is bone dry. So like the dry signal is really, there's no other ambience involved, and every sort of you know, upper harmonic and like glistening thing is all the Astral Destiny, and it's the only thing in the chain. Awesome. And that, yeah, that'll be the first one. So let's listen to this. Awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah, I mean that the way it grabs certain notes and like makes them pop out is really cool. I think that's a really unique thing what a reverb pedal does. Like sometimes it gets in the way, you know, something can be distracting, and I think that like just sits tucked in the back in such a nice way.
If you would have never told me that the original synth signal was dry and then everything was coming from the Astral Destiny, I would have just assumed there was like something on there, you know.
Well, listen to this one. All right, so check this one out. This one's at the Cosmos mode. So this is like the regenerating tail with the fifth. And what I dig about this one is that I'm playing one note on the synth. So it's like I'm literally hitting like I think a D. And every harmony is like you know, is coming out of the Astral. So check this out. This is a single note and in the Cosmos mode. Yes.
After every one of them, just one.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
You should, like when I was making the demo, I was like, "This so rips."
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I peeked that demo earlier. Great job with it, you know, and it's everything just. Wait, I know you're you know, you're super proud of this pedal, and I love that vibe coming off of you, and you can totally see it in the demo, and I think that just makes it even more special, in my opinion. You know, just knowing like, you know, the EarthQuaker camp is like full on passion behind their pedals. I mean,
yeah, we love it. We're we're a bunch of pedal nerds.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely we care a lot about it. So I'm so happy that this is kind of finally able to come to see the light of day, and hopefully it inspires you guys to make some cool music.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. I want to like score a film now or something. You know, you got me all inspired, Cory.
Please score a film. I would love to see it.
I need a film first to score, I think, but you know, maybe I'll make one of those too. Not with my iPhone.
Do that. I mean, I've seen people like film, you know, like just put their camera out the window, make a time lapse, and then put music.
Yeah, you can do some really beautiful music behind it.
You have the tech in your pocket.
Yeah. Yep. Or it's like any ambient kind of like composition too. It's like it just makes me want to
Oh yeah,
Just
I mean
sit
there's
back.
no shortage of that stuff on the internet. There's a lot of amazing people. Andy Uthling was the guy who got me deep into the Federal World. Andy, if you're watching this,
Dude,
you rip.
same.
You
Yeah.
know him? Yeah, he's really
Oh
great.
yeah.
He's really awesome.
Yep. And I used to do a buddy of mine had like a spoken word project that
Oh,
he put a
sweet.
lot of like ambient music behind, and we did one gig as me playing guitar in the background. I just kind of played some ambient stuff. So if I could go back in time with the Astral Destiny, it would have made it that much better.
Dude, all right. Well, you have to play one. Play one and make some cool sounds with it and send it to everyone.
Cool. And for everyone watching here, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. We'll answer them even past this live session. And we'll put some links where you can get the Astral Destiny at zZounds.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you, John and zZounds, for having me.
Yeah.
And I speak behalf of the rest of the company, so we love you guys, and we can't wait to hang out again. And thank you.
I'm counting the days. I have like my calendar to cross off every day until I get to hang out with EarthQuaker devices again.
You're always welcome.
Alrighty, man. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend and the rest of release day. I hope it is all just stays super exciting for you. I know there's been some great feedback, so yeah, man. Just have a good one.
Yeah, likewise. Have a good time, everyone. Later.
All right, see ya.